The world is on the path of resurgence from an apologetically approach towards spirituality and religion. Once considered an old ages business, spirituality in South Asia is now being rightfully seen as a way of a peaceful life in a largely chaotic world. Not only this, the region is now revisiting its long lost connection between spirituality and prosperity. In the latest development regarding the same, Sri Lankan Airlines recently released an advertisement video showcasing the Ramayana trail, a journey encompassing iconic places related to Bhagwan Ram. Hello and welcome to Think for India. I'm your host Parush Gupta. Let's begin. The advertisement with its pious message was sufficient to melt hearts on social media and take the applause-worthy step into the limelight. In the viral advertisement video, a grandmother could be seen narrating the story of the island where Ma Sita was taken after being abducted by Ravan. The grandmother then narrates the mighty kingdom of Ravan in Sri Lanka. The video further shows visuals of Ravan's cave near Ella town where Ma Sita was believed to have been kept before she was moved to Ashok Vatika. While the advertisement and Sri Lankan airline have been praised for promoting the ancient historical context of the island nation, the issue should be seen as a way to promote spiritual tourism, which has the potential to reopen floodgates of prosperity for the island nation in the aftermath of worst ever economic crisis, COVID-19 pandemic. Given the geography of Sri Lanka, there are limited resources on the island that can contribute to the national economy. One among them is tourism. Sri Lanka welcomes millions of foreign tourists every year. As per reports, the tourism sector is the third largest and fastest growing source of foreign exchange for the island nation. It contributes around 12% to the nation's GDP. According to a journal titled Impact of Tourism Industry on the Economic Growth of Sri Lanka, from 1989 to 2018, tourist income has been at par with the per capita GDP of the country. Also, the tourist industry has been a prominent source of direct and indirect employment for the local population. However, the tourism sector in the island nation suffered a hit after 2019 Easter Day attack and subsequent waves of the COVID-19 pandemic. Having an apparent idea of the sector's potential and drawing from the experience of neighboring India, Sri Lanka is now trying to boost spiritual tourism to sustain its economic growth. In India, the advent of Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated the much awaited promotion and development of spiritual places. Be it the road to Kailash, the resurgence of Kedarnath, the Kashi corridor, Ram Mandir, or several other such corridors and projects, the Modi government transformed the ancient Tirthadan into modern day spiritual tourism. This not only facilitated devotees but also facilitated tourism. The positive impact of this on the economy is an uncontested reality. As per reports, around 60% of tourism in India is connected with religious and spiritual travel. As per the Ministry of Tourism data, in 2022, 1,433 million domestic tourists visited various pilgrim sites across the country. Tourism contributes to around 9% of India's GDP, hence the growth of spiritual tourism has benefited both ways, economic development and boosting our culture. So Sri Lanka is also trying to walk the same path as it has enormous spiritual tourism potential which has not been properly presented so far. Recently, the same was put by Resplendent Salon MD Malik Fernando. He said, and I quote, "Our issue is that we have a good product but poor marketing. This is a demand issue. If we had increased demand through positioning and campaigns, even a fraction of what India has invested in infrastructure and hotels would follow, and investment would come." Unquote. The event was organized to make deliberations on the tourism sector in Sri Lanka, which has seen a revival this year. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka in its report said that earnings from tourism spiked to over 1.5 billion US dollars in the first half of 2024, marking a 78% increase year-on-year basis. Meanwhile, the nation saw 1.01 million tourist footfalls, up 62% from the same period in 2023. The report also said that this was possible because of the targeted promotion, strategic visa policy, and improved airline service. Yes, the airline service, which is now promoting spiritual tourism and is ready to expand its fleet to 25 aircraft by the end of this year. The first and foremost reason for this is the rich heritage present in the island nation associated with Ramayan. Secondly, as mentioned above, the success of India's spiritual tourism stands as a testament to such steps. Thirdly and most importantly, India remains the biggest source of tourists for Sri Lanka. The central bank report also mentions that India remains the top source market, contributing around 19% of total tourist arrivals in Sri Lanka. From January to July 7 this year, over 2 lakh Indian tourists visited Sri Lanka. This can be corroborated by Sri Lankan Airlines data, which said that the airline reported positive performance on its Indian routes, with high yields and a 74% average load factor with direct services to 9 Indian cities. Sri Lanka's focus on spiritual tourism must be seen as the revival of the idea that spiritual tourism has been an important factor in the South Asian economy. From time immemorial, spirituality has been the essence of South Asian culture. The tale of wisdom, truth, disciplined life, and essential oneness have been the unique feature of it. Accordingly, these tales and places associated with it become important tourist destinations. Be it India, Sri Lanka, or South Asian nations like Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, they have enormous potential for spiritual tourism. In fact, the South Asian nations, being aware of it, have preserved the sacredness and reverence of these places and have also long promoted them under its tourism sector. So its Sri Lankan Airlines advertisement is not just an economically wise move, but also brings satisfaction to Hindus around the world as they now get an opportunity to witness the glory of Bhagwan Ram and Ma Sita outside India.